All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Max. I'm a concept artist. I've been working in the industry for 7 years now, roughly. I've started out as a illustrator and then slowly became a concept artist, where I was able to work on projects like Sonic 3, Fortnite, Star Atlas, and a lot of unannounced projects. There's a topic that I think every newcomer, every emerging artist, as well as a lot of veterans, me included for sure, don't really think about often, or at least aren't able to define for themselves. And that's why I want to talk about it. The topic is art versus design. What's the differences, what to think about when working as a concept artist, etc., etc. So quickly, a few facts about me. Like I said, concept artist in the industry. I'm freelancing and I've been an instructor at New Edge school in Paris for a few years now. I'm based in Germany. I'm 34 years old, and I guess that's it, right? So let's jump right in. I've prepared a little presentation. Not sure how it's going to be cut in, so I might look at the screen sometimes. First thing about art versus design is why you're speaking about that topic. I think that I and a lot of other artists see a portfolio online, maybe on Instagram, social media, or even just an image, and they think, wow, that's concept art. Like, this polished image is so nice, I want to do the same. And the misconception here is that concept art isn't about that finished illustration, that finished art piece. Concept art actually has a lot to do about problem solving, designing, finding solutions to specific ideas. And we as concept artists, as designers, we have the unique ability to communicate with our visuals, with our painting technique or 3D or whatever. And we use that to create ideas, then talk about those ideas, mix them together, and bring them to life with our team, with our client. But because of social media, people think it's just about the finished illustration, which is far from being right. So I think if you understand the difference between just a finished image and actually the design work behind a finished image, you not only are able to communicate and work with a client or a team better, you also prepare yourself for your career, because you understand which part of the job is your favorite, and therefore you can pursue this specific part. Or you can think about where's your weakness, and you can actually specifically work on those weaknesses, design or art skills. So I would say jumping into definitions would be a good thing, right? These aren't definitions that I found online. This is more like what I think design and art is. So they are more personal definitions. So please take them with a grain of salt. But for me, design is about the process of finding solutions, so plural, to a specific problem, right? We want to explore different ideas, different paths, and come up with a lot of variations to find the best, to mix maybe different ideas, to ignite more of your and your team's creativity, and come up with something cool and unique. Art, on the other hand, isn't about this iterative design thinking. Art is more about the mood, the emotion, the expression of an idea. It's about feeling. It's about the final product in the end. An illustration is something that people buy. A design isn't something that people buy to hang it on the wall, right? It's just a small gear inside a big machine to create a product. So as an example for design, let's say we want to have a throne room. And of course we could just draw a throne room, but applying design thinking on it, we would think about who is the emperor in this throne room. Is he evil or nice? if it's evil. Maybe there is some differences that you can come up with. Maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's pure evil, maybe it's a misunderstood and tragic figure. And all those attributes can be part of the design you create for the throne room, and you try out different methods and how to express those attributes visually in the throne room and can come up with cool ideas and designs. Compared to that, if we want to make an art piece, an illustration of a throne room, let's say for a book cover or a video game cover, these problems aren't something that you take care of. Most of the time, for a video game, for example, you already have the designs, you already have the visuals, and you are tasked to use these as references, not straying away from it, but applying the mood, the combined feeling of the product of the video game in our case, which is again about how it feels and not about coming up with something that fits. Even though, and that's the next page, you can't say it's only the one or the other. It's always a combination of both. You cannot design something without knowing art, and you cannot create art without using design principles. The difficult part is to balance between those two sides and find the right point in time when to wear the design hat, and where to wear the art hat. Because if I design something, I want to present it nice and give it a certain mood, so I need art, right? But if I want to create a cool piece of art, I need design to come up with something cool. So they all work together. And to show what I mean by that, I've prepared a few images that I've been working on. It all starts with this image, which I've done in 2021, so a long time ago. And back then, this was like a finished project, a few key art for a few key shots, and that's it. And I understand now that this might look cool, but for production, it wouldn't be super helpful, because I'm not breaking down designs. I'm just giving an overview of how everything could look like. So what I wanted to do now is I want to zoom in to just take a part of this image and design it heavily. And I decided to design this part marked in red, which is simply in front of the entrance, some kind of a coming area for visitors that want to visit the emperor. And the idea behind it that I came up with was I want to have three different functions for this area. So the first idea I thought was we create something that is about the visitor consuming a liquid, which is infused with some kind of drug maybe, so the emperor can have like an easy game with the visitor. Maybe he's confused then, or easy to manipulate or something. Second idea was to have some kind of scanner to scan for threats. And the third idea was to have something more religious, something like praying to some kind of god entity, whatever. And all of that in mind, but not really formulated yet, right? I started out sketching, just sketching some kind of shapes to start my brain to warm up essentially. And yeah, a little bit of the images came to my mind, and I jumped into research, I jumped into writing down ideas, references, sketching out those layouts, and trying to be as different as possible to have a large variety of ideas, a large variety of solutions for this design problem. As a next step, I took it a little bit further, and every sketch I blocked out in 3D. So it's just more defined for me, or possibly for the client, to understand my idea. And I did that for all 9 ideas in total, after which I've printed everything out, because sometimes I just like to change perspective, and when it's printed and hang on my wall back behind me. It's still there. It just stimulates another part of my brain, and I can come up with different ideas. And I wanted to, for each section, I want to combine all ideas to one final idea for this section. So one final idea for the scanner, one final idea for the liquid, and one final idea for the religious praying ceremony. And I came up with these, right? And it's still the same. I'm sketching and gathering and collecting more references. I do a little bit of variation to see if the values work, if the ideas work this or that way. I do another layout, I do a few more notes. It's all about iterative thinking, coming up with new ideas, combining, trying out, because in this stage we can try it so many times and it's almost for free because it doesn't take any time. And I did this again for all 3 ideas, and in the end I just took this one for now to finish it. And what I'm always keeping in mind when finishing these kind of ideas, these kind of call outs, is I want to explain as much as I can visually, and so that if I'm not in the room, it's still easy to understand, and the client doesn't need to call me and ask, Max, what were you thinking? What should we do here and there? It should be as clearly formulated and understandable as possible. So this is an overview of the design, right? We have the stairs coming down, so I have a breakdown of how it looks downstairs, and there's the scanner in the middle. We see how it overlaps. We see a little bit of breakdown of the materials, top view, side view, front view. And I thought, I want to explain even more, right? I want to give my imaginative 3D artist even easier, even and more easy life. So I did another call out. It's totally fine, right? With all the measurements, so it's even nicer to see. Okay. And then I thought, but the scanner is somehow something super important, so let's do a third call out just for the scanner, doing a little bit of detail breakdowns, right? How the scanner looks. There's some kind of glass on top of it and stairs down here. So let's show that. Let's give a detailed shot of these scanners, all in the vein of helping everybody after me realizing that idea. And then after I've done everything, I thought I give myself a treat, and I did a key art out of my design. And the key art is still part of my design presentation, right? It describes mood that I can't convey here. It describes camera angles, it describes cinematography. So it's still a lot of design ideas and choices that I'm showing here and hopefully helping the production. But the thing is, would it just stand for itself and alone, it wouldn't nearly solve the problem at all, right? Like 90% of the design breakdowns are in these callouts, and the 10% here, they are of course nice to have. They sell the idea, they give even more insight, but it doesn't solve everything on its own. A 3D artist wouldn't know the proportions and the what is behind the camera, all those things, just from looking at this image. So yeah, this is why I'd say art and design, they work together. We need design to communicate an idea specifically and to break it down and give an idea for production. But we also need art to paint it up, right, and present it in a nice way, and also to be able to create these kind of key shots to sell the idea. So the giveaways, right? The giveaways. I don't have any giveaways. The takeaways are in the times of social media, we think polished renderings are good designs, which isn't the case, right? Polished renderings from all those cool artists out there are looking cool and nice, but there's a lot of design thinking behind them. So always think about that and keep that in mind. Because we also don't see a lot of these design processes online, we might think it's boring, it's not necessary, and I would say that that's the completely wrong direction to think. I think it's the most important thing to come up with cool ideas, to have a design process dialed in, and showing that actually in a portfolio to get a job is super valuable, because people understand that you understand the job and you understand what is asked of you as a concept designer and concept artist. Cool, so I would say design, again, summarizing, design is the process of finding solutions for a problem and working together with a team to find the best idea, the design, and for the project. And art is an expression of emotion, of mood. It helps to have a visual impact of your idea. And we use both art and design to create our work and to help production, to create cool games, cool movies, cool whatever. And as soon as it makes click, and that was the case for me, as soon as it made click in my head, I understood, okay, I actually enjoy the process of ideating, of coming up with things. That's actually what I really enjoy. I feel super creative. And doing those finished pieces, these big illustrations are super cool, and they look super cool and impressive. But I realize it's even more important to show that you are able to think about ideas and design those ideas. So I hope that was insightful. It helped you a little bit, and I didn't ramble too much. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.